Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Transcendent as Fuck with Iena SpiritWalker. This is basically on this podcast, you guys, we talk about all things intuition, energy healing, animal communication, and trauma. Literally all the blessings and challenges of being a spiritual being in a meat sack. So today, thank you so much for joining us. Today, I have Monique Brignoni. Hello, Monique.
Hey.
Thank you so much for being here. And our topic today is Awakened Way to a Peaceful End of Life Journey for Pets. So Monique, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Thank you, Iena. Thank you so much. So I'm an animal intuitive, and I'm also a sacred pet death doula. And so basically I help pet parents to approach the end of life phase, let's say in a more enlightened state, one that holds the frequencies of love, which is really actually the base of the pet-parent relationship. And then when we're able to, let's say that through our personal growth and our calmness, and we're able to maintain these frequencies of love, and in that way we help our pets and ourselves to make this transition precious. Yeah. So
Beautiful. How long have you been doing that, Monique?
Oh, let's say that it's been at least 12, 15 years. I don't know exactly the numbers, but yeah, a long time. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for doing all the beautiful work that you do. It's so greatly needed. Woohoo. Okay.
Yes.
So, all right. So why don't you let's hear about the work that you do. What's the first step to approaching an awakened way to a peaceful end of life journey for our pets?
Well, I think really there are two sides to this. The first side would be our own state of being. So it's really important that we are able to stay calm and peaceful, so that, as I said before, we can maintain these high frequencies of love, right? And then in that way, we can affect and support our pet's transition, right? Because, we say that we love our pets so much, right? But in this love, the moment that we get a terminal diagnosis, we immediately go into distress. And those are actually low frequencies, right? So we want to be loving and compassionate, but then at the same time, we've got these low frequencies of despair. So we cannot be loving and compassionate whilst we're holding despair and sadness, right? And the sadness is that then what happens, because of the very difficult moment, we end up spending the whole time from when we're told that our pets are going to transition, until they do transition, in these lower frequencies. So the first part that I teach is actually to help pet parents to hold these vibrations high, which is actually the base of their relationship with their pets, because of course we love our gorgeous animal friends more than anything in the entire world.
Yes.
Yes, don't we? And then the second part is actually knowing more about the process of death and dying. Because unfortunately today, death is looked at just from the how do you say, the meat sack, you say,
The
right?
physical.
Yeah, the physical. Thank
Yeah.
you for that. I don't know why I forgot the name physical.
Brain
But
fart. It happens to the best of us. It's okay, love. Yeah.
So we only look at it from the physical. And so then we determine if they're in pain, we determine if they're not well, we determine if they're sad, if they're everything, just by looking at the physical. And then, of course, with this limited vision, we only have limited solutions, right? Because when the physical, you see, during the end of course, during the death process, the physical is dying, right? So we cannot expect it to be well, right? So the only solution will be that of either hastening death, right? Or so that's the thing. So when we start opening up to the mental, emotional, and spiritual, because this journey is more spiritual than physical, we are 99% energy and 1% matter. So when we look at it like that, many more things open up. And that also helps us. One, we know what's happening on all levels. We really know what's happening. So we may see that maybe they're going within, right? But at the same time, we know that they are visiting the other side and they are experiencing no pain and something beyond what we can even think about, right? So instead of focusing on us and what we don't want, we start focusing on our pets and their journey and supporting them in their journey.
Thank you so much. That's so beautiful. And of course, as the universe does, this is perfect timing. I just got off a call with a client whose cat passed just moments before you and I spoke. And it really has been so amazing to witness. Now, she approached it in the way that you recommend. She was very aware of what was happening. She was very in peace, and decided to assist her cat on the journey to the other side because she was struggling and needed help. And in our society, right, we're so, as you said, we don't really talk about excuse me, death and dying. There are cultures who do. Buddhists, for example, recognize that death is part of life. And this is, you know, I like to think of it as this vehicle, this meat sack, is our car that we get in for the journey, right? So when we're in a car and we go to the grocery store, do things end when we get out? No, we've just completed our journey. We got out. We don't need the car anymore. We're at the grocery store. And in reference to that, when we journey deeper into spirit, it's so beautiful when we can recognize that there is spirit beyond this meat sack. We do exist beyond this, and our life and our experiences are so much deeper and richer than what's on the surface.
Absolutely.
So when we support one another and in an energetic way with the love, that wavelength of love that we all need to ride to do this work, right?
Absolutely.
That changes the whole game for both parties, for everybody involved. And that's so beautiful.
It is because, you know, you also get, you see, when our pets are dying, or when anybody's dying, by the way, the frequencies around them start raising because they need to raise their frequencies to match the frequencies of where they're going, right?
Yeah.
So when we are in this environment and we are able to stay centered, we benefit from this as well. So we are able to grow spiritually, but we're also taken to places, you know, ourselves. And when you touch, to me, it happened that I touched a boundless love that I'd never felt on this earth, right? Or a peace that didn't make sense in that moment. And I knew this was something that I couldn't just access it, you know, by meditating or by being calm or, you know, whatever. It was just something beyond. And when you touch that, it's as though you realize what's beyond. You just cannot contain the you know the curiosity even to go further, and that's a journey that I did. I went further. And I love the analogy of the car that you said, you know, the car and the meat sack inside, the us inside, right? But it's beautiful because what happens is now at the end of life, what we do is we keep taking the car to the garage, and it constantly gets fixed and fixed and fixed and fixed. And then when it can no longer get fixed, the garage guy says, "Sorry, mom, you know, we need to throw the car away." So they take the car, they throw it away. Now, what's happening to the person inside that car? Whilst you're fixing it, they are like, you know, like, because imagine that the person inside of the car is still in the car, right? We are watching it from the outside. So when they're fixing the car, they are like, hey, you know, I can't relax because I'm being fixed, right? And then when they take the car and they throw it away, all of a sudden you go like, whoa, wait a second, I want to go with you. I don't want to go, you know, in the car dump, right? And so what I teach is to take care of the car, because we don't want the pain. We don't want the pain. Take care of the car, but also mainly look at the spirit that's inside, the soul that is making this transition, and open the car door and go like, hey, I know you're making this transition. Let me support you, right? And so now we're not supporting the outer car, because the car, we can park the car in the garage because we know that car is no longer necessary. So we park the car, but now we open the door and we talk to the soul. So thank you for that analogy. I kind of
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I am a little confused about throwing the car away in that analogy. Where does that fit
Okay,
with the
well,
journey
I
of the body?
yeah, well, it happens a lot in with euthanasia done too
Ah,
soon. Yeah,
okay. Okay.
because to me it's not about euthanasia or not, but to me it's important to learn everything that happens, because we say an animal is peaceful when we do the most compassionate thing when we do euthanasia, because we see the animal that is asleep. But the question that, well, I like to go deeper, and the question is the animal
Mhm.
peaceful because they are sleeping or unconscious or not moving,
Mhm.
or are they truly peaceful? What is happening to the famous soul in that moment when we do that? We need to know
Okay.
that. We need to know
Okay.
that, right?
Mhm.
So when you know everything, then you can make better decisions.
Okay. Okay. So it's not in reference to like saying that euthanasia is never an option. It's in reference to being more conscious about the choices that you have and the experience of the pet in those moments, no matter what that might be.
So, to be honest, in my years that I've followed this, oh, let's call it awakened way, I've never
Yes.
had to do euthanasia again. And all of my
Amazing.
animals and all of my clients' animals, apart from a few that people weren't completely ready.
Yeah.
Uh, but if you start preparing, in time,
Mm. Okay.
um, and you know how to approach this phase, there is no way you need euthanasia, because
Right.
our body has an intelligence in the same way that
Yes.
we are born, right? And our mothers
Mm-hmm.
didn't decide, oh, I'm going to make the heart of my baby, I'm going to make the left lung and the right lung. No, there is an intelligence within us that is
Mm-hmm.
coordinating all of this. Now, the
Yes.
same way that it coordinates life when we come into this body, it
Mm-hmm.
coordinates the going out. But
Yes.
we cannot be in stress, we cannot be in fear, we cannot. And so we need to learn what is exactly going on. If a dog is panting, what does it mean? Is it only
Mhm.
pain, or is it something special that's going on? We need to take the difference between what is usually pain and what is an end of life process. um,
Beautiful. Yes.
yeah.
Thank you for bringing clarity to that. And of course, that was fresh on my mind because I just had that conversation. So I'm so grateful for you bringing that forward. I love that. That's so beautiful.
No, it is
Okay.
beautiful. And
Go
let
ahead,
me just
love.
say just one more thing
Please.
about this.
Yes.
When we journey like this, when we're able to, I always have this, I always say, when your dog can't hold when your pets cannot hold their heads up, hold it up for them, right? This is the moment that they need us, because their body is going,
Mm,
is leaving. So we don't just give up on them, right? And when we are able to journey, obviously we cannot do it if we don't know, right? But
right.
when we know everything that's going on, and we are able to be there for them in the same way that we would be there for a child, right?
Sure.
Then I can tell you that the love and the bond, the it grows
Hmm.
exponentially. I tell you, it's the love that you share in those moments is even more
Yes.
than during the life. So I just wanted to mention that, because it's super, super important and beautiful.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I love that. Oh, do you have a story you want to share around that? Maybe somebody you worked with recently?
Um, Let me see. Uh, yes, there was a woman that it called me in very high stress, because of a dog's passing. She didn't know what to do. We worked together. She went through my courses as well, and basically the dog had an illness, and I don't remember what it was, but it was something that was foreseen as going to be the end. And because
Yeah.
of that, the vet immediately prescribed euthanasia. So that's
Okay.
why she contacted me, right?
Hmm.
And at the beginning, she was a bit hesitant, right? Because we are so focused on the fear, and we really don't
Right.
want our pets to be in pain. I understand that 100%,
For
right?
sure.
Yeah. And so anyway, so we worked together well, and then what happened was that she was able to accompany her dog to the end, right? And there were moments, difficult moments, and moments that were easier. But the great thing that she kept the connection to the other side. She received the messages, she received signs afterwards, and it was just so beautiful. And the synchronicities that were happening. I remember she would call me up and go like, you have no idea what happened, right? And the goodbye wasn't one day, you see. It was like over the time that the dog then decided, was able
Mm.
to die in its own terms with no pain, I must say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pain,
Mm-hmm.
even though it was foreseen that the dog would have pain. And the great thing is that, yes, she was sad. Of course she's sad because, it's our beloved friends, right, that are gone. But because she was getting messages, she was just enthusiastic, and that allowed them, after months, there was another synchronistic event, and a puppy came to her. But it was so synchronistic that with the other dog that she had no doubt that it was the right thing. But it's as though, because you see, grief comes, I'm not saying grief doesn't come, but it also goes away during that period. If we go to the vet and they say they have an illness, and then we do euthanasia immediately, grief comes, and then there's no way of integrating it, no way
Yes.
of healing
Yes.
from it, right? And then
Yes.
we get these
Mhm.
heavy hearts, and the pain never
Right.
goes away. And some people may not even want a pet after that. It's so, so sad. So, so sad
Right.
because the pain is so big, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think I think it's our responsibility as pet parents to also consider the end of life. We can't just say, I want to take care of my dog or cat holistically all of my life. I give them a good food, I give them good supplements, I give them this and this and that. And then when death comes, you go like, oh, here. And you hand over the responsibility to someone else, right? Because you don't know about it. But when
Right.
you learn about it, then you can make decisions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I really would love people to take the responsibility back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you. And thank you for being a leader for us in that way. This is really huge. And again, like I said, our society doesn't really talk
Yeah.
about death, as part of life. We
Yeah.
really shy away from that. And that does cultivate a lot of fear and panic
Yeah.
around any loved one who is on their way. And guess what? It's in the plan for all of us. We're
Oh,
all
yes.
just in our cars,
Yeah.
all just in our little meat sacks doing our
Yeah.
thing, and we're going to step out too.
Yeah.
And yes. Oh, and I just have a little caveat too. I'm sure you already know this too, but it's my understanding that when we cross over, we are greeted by all the animals first. So when we
Oh,
get to the
good.
other side, it's just like when you come home and they all like bombard you and they push through everybody. It's the same way on the other side. So
Yeah.
I just loved hearing that because I'm like, that is so awesome. Like,
Yeah. No, it is. I remember when I was helping my mom with the end of life of her Great Dane,
mm,
Daya. And it was so interesting because it was the first time actually that it happened, in the sense that I've been studying for years about all of these things, right? But it was the first time that I put all of my knowledge together: the Mexican, the Buddhist, the end of life doula for people, my spirituality. All of these things kind of came in, like, and I remember I was looking at Daya, and she was, we went through the end of life with her, and it was interesting because she was doing everything by the book, and that reminded me, oh wait, I know this. Oh wait, I know this. So I went to get all of my notes, and I was telling my mom, oh, I think this is going to happen next, and then, oh, I think this is going to happen next, right? And I was just, pondering things, and Daya did every step, one after the other. Now, it's rare that they come so precisely, but it felt as though she was doing it on purpose. And my mom said, I think Daya's reading your notes, because she was so. And I remember the moment she took her last breath, I knew it, and I was behind Daya, and my mom was holding her head, and I was going like, now I'm going to see my mom just lose control, right? I was expecting that because, it's the last breath.
right.
And I remember she was so peaceful, and she looked up at me with the biggest of smiles, and I was taken aback. And this was just because we were able to walk with her, knowing all the steps.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
she was able to be calm because there wasn't any fear about what is happening to her, right?
Right.
She was, and then the smile, and I said, "Are you all right?" And she said, "I can feel her all over." This was my mom, no spiritual, nothing. She was just, I can feel her. And so and the feeling was so big that
Yeah.
that it surpassed all of the other stuff, the sadness and the now. Of course, she's sad. Every time I mention her, she goes like, "Oh," but
Oh,
she
yeah, I'm totally
remember
teared up.
her with a smile. She does. She truly does remember her with a smile.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, beautiful.
She was your teacher. She was the first one that brought it all to you. Let's
Yeah, all
go.
together. Yeah, yeah.
Let's go,
It was
Monique. This is your job.
yeah, exactly. But I
Yeah.
remember I started saying this. What was the thing that you said just before I said this story? You mentioned?
I don't know.
Oh gosh, yeah, I forgot it. So no, there was a connection with that. I think I went off on a
Oh,
tangent. I forgot. Oh no, 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 yes. So one of the things was before she the last breath, I knew because I knew that what was happening. So I told my mom, I said, it's not going to be too long. So I said, just share everything you want to share with Daya right now.
yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
she got close and she said, and I could hear, she said, "Oh, you know, you like everyone. I'm not like that. I don't like people like as much as you do, right?" And so she said, I'm looking. So she said, you go up in heaven, right? And then you wait for me. And then when I come, at least I will have someone to look forward to.
That's
Uh,
right. Oh,
so
yeah. Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
that's the reason I told this story. Absolutely.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
it's incredible. But yes, I have many recounts of people that see their dogs or their cats or their hens in the last days of their lives as well. So yeah.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, Monique, you're so awesome. Thank you so much for being a bright shining light on this planet and for doing the amazing work that you do. We're so grateful for you. And I would like to know, first of all, how can people get a hold of you? How do they connect with you?
Okay, so my website is Animalchemy. So animal alchemy, but all together. Animalchemy.com.
Animalchemy.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then
.com.
.com, yes,
Okay.
yes. And then yes, because the animal alchemy cost $10,000, and I said nah, nah. So so everybody will have to do with the animalchemy one.
I love
And
that.
then yes, that's where they can find me. Yes.
Okay. All right. So they can connect with you. And do you have any special events or workshops that you'd like to share with the audience as well?
Yes, I have a course, an end of life course that is divided in two parts. One is the awakened way to a peaceful end of life, and the other one is called the Tao of caring for your dying or our dying animal friends. I have really long titles. I'm terrible. I
You do?
can't. I, you'll have to help me. But effectively, the first part is all about learning about death and dying and what is happening, what is truly happening, what is happening in our brain when we receive a diagnosis. Basically, how we can grow and evolve spiritually, emotionally, mentally, so that we can then best support our pets, right? And the second part is when the what do you say, the rubber meets the road, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's when the end of life journey starts. So those go in detail as to what you can experience, all the stages and all the signs and symptoms, so that you know at every moment, where along the journey your pet is, and what to do, but also what not to do, because it really depends on where they are along the journey, on what we do. So we think it's easy. It's like, oh, okay, end of life, okay, euthanasia. Uh-uh. There's so
Yes.
there's so much to learn, so much. And I can tell you it makes a huge difference. So that course is available. I've done it. I always did it live for now, but now I'm recording the little videos because I tend to go from, it should be like 2 hour Zoom sessions, and it was like 4. And then I would never have the platform to put them on, and it was just a disaster. So I would say, okay, Now I'm going to do the little videos, and then the live sessions that I do have with people are concentrated on them totally, about their personal experiences, Q&As, anything they want, they can ask. And so now I feel that I'm giving them more, because I can give them all the hours of recordings that they can watch at their own pace, but then also support them, face to face.
Beautiful. Okay, you guys. So wherever you're watching this interview, you can, whether you're on YouTube or Spotify, wherever you are, you will find Monique's website and information below in the comments in the description of this video. So check that out. Monique, thank you so much for joining us today with Transcendent AF with Iena SpiritWalker. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you so, so much. And thank you everyone for listening to this beautiful, beautiful podcast.
Thank you.